The little girl's trembling voice echoed through the busy ice cream shop. "Mister, I dropped my money." That one small sentence changed everything. By the end of that day, a simple act of kindness would cost someone their job, break hearts, and yet, awaken something far greater than any paycheck could ever buy. If this story touched your heart, show your love, like, share, and comment your thoughts. It was a warm Saturday afternoon at Sunny Scoops, a cheerful little ice cream parlor tucked between a bookstore and a florist in downtown Seattle. The air was thick with the sweet smell of vanilla, laughter of children, and the faint hum of the old freezer in the corner. Behind the counter stood Ethan Myers, a 28-year-old server with tired eyes but a smile that never faded. He wasn't there to make a fortune. He was there to survive. Ethan had once dreamed of opening his own bakery, but life had a cruel way of changing plans. After his mother's illness and the debt that followed, he'd taken whatever job he could find. Still, even behind that counter, wearing a stained apron and cracked shoes, Ethan had something money couldn't buy: a kind heart. That day, a mother and her little daughter walked in. The girl couldn't have been older than 6. She had auburn curls, freckles dusted across her nose, and she clutched a few coins tightly in her tiny fist. Her name was Lily Carter. Her mother, Grace, smiled apologetically as they approached the counter. "One scoop of chocolate for my brave little one," Grace said. She just lost her first tooth and wanted to celebrate. Ethan grinned. "A chocolate warrior, huh? Coming right up." As Lily reached out to hand him her coins, they slipped from her small hand, rolling across the counter and clinking onto the floor. One disappeared into the small gap beneath the freezer. She gasped, bending down to search, but the space was too narrow. Her bottom lip trembled. "My money, it's gone," she whispered, looking up at Ethan with teary eyes. Grace knelt beside her. "It's okay, honey, we can come back another day." But Ethan couldn't let that happen. Something inside him, the part that still remembered what it felt like to be small, scared, and helpless, wouldn't allow it. Without hesitation, he took $1 from his own pocket and slid it into the register. "Don't worry," he said gently, handing Lily her cone. "I found it." Her face lit up instantly, eyes wide with pure, innocent joy. "You found it?" "Thank you, mister," she beamed, gripping the cone like it was a treasure. Grace looked at him with gratitude that words couldn't capture. "Thank you," she said softly. "You didn't have to. Some smiles are worth more than $1, he replied with a small shrug. The two left, and Ethan thought that would be the end of it. But fate had a cruel sense of timing. An hour later, as Ethan wiped the counter, his supervisor, Melanie Dawson, stormed out of the office. She was in her early 40s, strict, sharp-eyed, and obsessed with rules. Her job was her world, and she demanded the same devotion from her staff. "Ethan," she barked, slamming the cash register receipt onto the counter. "Why is the drawer short by $1? He blinked, surprised. "Oh, that was for the little girl earlier. She dropped her money and you replaced it yourself?" she snapped. "Yes. I didn't want her to leave upset, so you took money from the register to give away. Do you have any idea what that's called?" Ethan froze. "I didn't take anything, I put in my own $1. It doesn't matter. The system shows a discrepancy. Corporate will flag this as theft." Her voice rose with every word, drawing the attention of the customers nearby. A few whispered, others stared. Ethan's cheeks burned. "Melanie, please," he said quietly. "Check the cameras if you want. You'll see I didn't." "This isn't up for debate," she interrupted coldly. "I can't have employees making charity cases on company time. You're suspended pending investigation." The words hit him like a punch. His breath caught in his throat. "You're firing me? Over $1? Melanie crossed her arms. "Over principle. We run a business, not a charity." For a moment the world went silent. Ethan could feel the eyes of every customer on him. He looked down at his hands, calloused, trembling slightly, and then back at Melanie. "If kindness is against company policy," he said softly, "then maybe I'm in the wrong place." He took off his apron, folded it neatly, and placed it on the counter. The customers watched as he walked out, the bell above the door giving one last faint ring behind him. That night, as rain began to drizzle against his apartment window, Ethan sat on his couch with his head in his hands. He wasn't angry. He was tired. tired of a world that punished compassion and rewarded indifference. He thought of Lily's smile, her little voice saying, "You found it." That small joy was worth everything. But still, losing his job stung. He didn't know that, at that very moment, a story about him was already spreading. Grace had written a heartfelt post on social media that evening. "To the kind young man at Sunny Scoops who replaced my daughter's lost dollar so she could have her first tooth ice cream. You reminded me that there's still goodness in this world. If your boss didn't appreciate that, the rest of us surely do." Within hours, her post was shared thousands of times. People commented from all over the country, demanding the shop rehire Ethan and praising his kindness. By the next morning, the story had gone viral. News outlets picked it up. Server fired for kindness, internet rallies behind him. When Ethan woke up to hundreds of messages and friend requests, he couldn't believe it. Grace had even found his contact through the shop's old staff group. "I think you should check your door," her message read. He opened it to find Grace and Lily standing there, smiling. Lily held a small card with uneven handwriting. "Thank you for finding my dollar. Mommy says you're the best ice cream man ever." Tears welled up in Ethan's eyes. "You didn't have to," Grace interrupted, handing him an envelope. "Actually, a few people did. Some folks from the neighborhood raised money for you. And there's something else. Someone saw the post and wants to talk to you about a job." Ethan opened the letter inside. It was from a local bakery chain, Sweet Haven. The owner wrote that anyone with a heart like his deserved a place in his team. A month later, Ethan stood behind a new counter, this time his own. With the support he received, he opened Lily's Scoops and Sweets, named after the little girl who unknowingly changed his life. And on opening day, Grace and Lily were the first customers. Lily grinned up at him as he handed her a cone. "You really did find my dollar, didn't you?" Ethan smiled, eyes glistening. "Guess I did, Lily. Guess I did." As laughter filled the shop and the scent of sugar filled the air, he looked at the sign above the door, hand-painted and imperfect but beautiful. It read, "Kindness isn't a mistake. It's the reason we're here." And for the first time in a long while, Ethan felt like the world had finally balanced the scales. In a world quick to judge and slow to care, even the smallest act of kindness can ripple into something life-changing. Never let rules silence your humanity.